Hi everybody, it is April and I am in my craft room, and today we're going to make an uber fast baby quilt with a panel and some fleece. I have recently been invaded by a small child who is 11 months old, going on 1. And as she is the second of 2 granddaughters, she has probably gotten the short end of the stick on the quilt front because, you know, Gigi gets busy. She has a full-size quilt that I made her, but she doesn't have any small quilts. At my house, we have a junior crib, and a full-size quilt, or really lap quilt, is too big for that size crib, besides the fact it has minky on the back, and it's in the summertime, where, you know, it's 80, 90, that kind of thing. So I want to make something light and quick so that she can enjoy it for the rest of this summer. And I don't want it to become my life's work. But I want there to be something special about it. You know, I just don't want to slap a panel with some fleece and be done. But first, let me show you the panel. This is a panel I found in my panel stash. You know I love panels. So here, it's sleeping bears and bears eating honey and bears hanging in trees and, you know, just something sweet. I want to take this panel and I want to back it in some fleece. Well, I don't have a large fleece stash, and I thought, I'm going to Joann's, and thought, no, look first, make sure you don't have something that you can use, because I was in the mood to spend money and it would not have been pretty. Well, guess what? The good Lord must have been looking out for me and my money, because I have this fleece. And if you notice, it just matches really well. So, it is just a little bit wider than this panel, which works out perfectly. And I can put these 2 pieces front to front. I don't know that there's a front to fleece. I hope not, because I can't find it if there is. But I want something special. So I thought, you know what? I have all that chenille-it that I found at Hobby Lobby. And even though it will probably require me to pin something, the little baby's worth it. So I pulled it out. Now I paid 89 cents. No, wait a minute. How much did I pay? Yeah, 89 cents for rolls of chenille-it. And I thought, you know, I use chenille-it, it's going to be morphed by the thickness of the fleece. So I'll just use 2 of the chenille-it, one on top of the other, and hopefully it'll be pretty fluffy. This is my plan. I'll take my yellow. I'll start out with the leftover yellow, and I have another wide yellow just in case. I will put the green on top of it. And then when I go to top stitch around the edge of the quilt, I will use this tangerine. And we'll just see how it turns out, because I honestly don't think that the 11-month-old is going to have a problem with it. So let's trim first, and then we'll pin, and then we'll sew. First thing that we want to do is we want to cut off our selvage edges. So I'm going to line up this line along the edge of this panel and this panel. And panels sometimes can be a little askew, so I'm just going to use that as my starting point, and that will get the panel as straight as possible. I don't need sheer perfection here. I need something for a small child to use to cover up. Now we have our panel. It is selvage-less, so we'll set that aside. I did run an iron over it. Now we've got our fleece to contend with. And this fleece has selvage at each end. I'm only going to get rid of the selvage at one end because the other end isn't going to be near the rest of the project because this is longer than that. The fleece is longer than the panel. I'm having trouble speaking. And here, I'm just gonna line it up and cut it. I'm not gonna fret. Here's our panel. It looks like whoever cut it did a good job and they cut it straight, so I'm good with that. So let's flip this over and see what we're working with here. Now let's start putting some chenille-it in there. I think I can actually use clips, but I want the edge of my chenille-it to get caught in the 1/4 inch seam. And this is going to be a little tedious. We'll find out whether or not it was worth it. I'm just going to peel this back since I have kind of a line on where it needs to go, and then I can put this down, get my clips. If I were smart, I'd use some spray glue or some liquid glue that kind of disappears, but I'm not that smart. I think this is going to be a learning experience. Of course, aren't they all learning experiences? All right, so there we've got the one side. I will finish putting the chenille-it in and then we'll sew. I have turned my blanket right side out, and here you can see where we've got the chenille-it. On the corners, it doesn't really go all the way around the corner. I need to rethink the way to do that, and you can hear the child that this is for in the background. I need to press the edges, and then here, this chenille-it is not secure. So I have done my normal fold it over and clip, and then when I do my top stitch around the edge, I will seal that in. And I've used some clips just to hold it. Okay, so let me press this and then we'll go to the sewing machine and do our top stitching. Here is my panel. I have sewn a 1/4 inch, it's probably more like a 1/2 inch, a top stitch, but when I did, I added this orange chenille-it. So I just laid it down, and as I was going along the top of the chenille-it, I would straighten out the back, kind of pull it apart so that I can get as much of this chenille-it that's in the seam to show. Just make sure that your chenille-it is tucked in. I found this place and another place, so yeah. And then on the corner, make sure your chenille-it goes all the way. I'm not real sure, because we're turning this project right side out and sewing it inside out, how I can do that better, but I need to figure that out. Maybe have it overlap on the corner, and then when you turn it inside out, you'll get, see here, I don't even have any on the corner. This is an experiment, and again, the 11-month-old, sorry, she won't care. What I did is I used the dotted lines, and you can see where I'm pointing to the dotted lines, to go around a few of these panels so that when I wash it, it won't all separate. You know, I've got the 1/4 inch seam or the top seam around the edge, but it's a good way to practice straight line quilting. So if you're nervous, I mean, I didn't put on a walking foot, I did nothing special, I just used my regular foot. I did leave the needle in the middle of the foot so that where these dots were, I just kept those dots in the groove in the middle of the foot, and most of the time I hit it, not all the time. But again, it's just a good way to practice, especially if you're afraid to quilt a real quilt. You know, throw one of these things together. There's bound to be somebody, if nothing else, you can give it to the Linus project, Project Linus, and somebody will have a blanket and you'll have some practice. So now I am going to throw this bad boy in the washer and see how our chenille-it looks when we're done. My blanket is complete. I'm gonna hold it up. Hopefully you can see it. So my chenille has gotten fuzzy, and it will just get fuzzier as I wash it. I think it looks really cute with the two different colors in the seam, and then this orange going down the side. Can't really tell that it has been quilted. I'm going to air quote quilted, but if you look at the back, you can tell. It's very soft and fuzzy on the back. It's got some weight to it because of the fleece, but it's not real heavyweight, and I think this is a perfect little blanket for the summer and the fall and the spring and maybe even the winter. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, eat some chocolate, and be kind to everybody. Until next time, bye. Hi everybody, it is April, and I am in my craft room, and I forgot. Big quilt is really too much for a junior clerk. I think I'm gonna take, okay. And then I will put this, having issues, and I have a hair. Oh, it came out.